Welcome back. You're watching Rise and Shine, the sporty edition of the program. And it's Sunday, the 6th of January. We mentioned at the beginning of the show, we're going to have quite an interesting athlete who's achieved quite an unbelievable feat. And this is a lot to do with covering the 7 continents. And yes, we do have with us HASSAN ESUFALLY, who's covered the 7 continents marathon. That's not something a lot of people can do. It's quite a task to achieve. And we are absolutely proud to have him on the show. Very good morning to you, HASSAN.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure because last time when you did the South American one, we spoke about how you did the African marathon and all of that, the Boston Marathon you did in North America, so much and so forth. You brought in all those medals that looked so fascinating. This time around, he walked in and said, I didn't pick the medals, right? That's all good. That's all good. Because having him on the show itself is a privilege for us because he is the first Sri Lankan to achieve the feat of covering the marathons in all 7 continents. How do you feel, HASSAN?
I feel surreal to be the first Sri Lankan in history to achieve something on this scale and to be the first Sri Lankan to have run a marathon on all the 7 continents. I mean, when I crossed the finish line, it was like in my head I was thinking, you know, I've achieved something that no one in this country has done before, and perhaps even sent a message to inspire other people to go after their dreams and follow their passions and go after audacious goals.
And also in terms of passion, when did you know that this was your passion? Where did it all begin?
So it actually started for me in 2014 at the University of Melbourne. So I was studying there between 2012 and 2014, and in my last year I was captain of the tennis team there, and I saw an article for the Melbourne Marathon, and one of my friends, I went and rushed down to the dining hall and told my friends and teammates, you know, I want to try this. And they said, you're never going to be able to do it, and definitely not. And one of them had actually done 2 marathons before, and said, you're not going to be able to do it in 3 months. And being the person that I am, and you know, I'm quite determined. So I said, no, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to do it anyway. And I did it, and in the end, he came and said, you know, you proved me wrong, and I respect you even more for it. And then the feeling of satisfaction and achievement and accomplishment after crossing the finish line was just surreal. That I didn't feel like working out anymore just for like aesthetic purposes. I wanted to have like a performance component to it as well. And then the idea for the 7 continents was born at that time, and I did other things to achieve that prior, like the Ironman and several other marathons and smaller races as well.
And also, especially when someone says you can't do it, it reinforces you to kind of go beyond, above and beyond to achieve.
I think that is an important aspect also in achieving something, that you need. I think to a certain extent you need someone telling you can't do it, so that you actually push
that
past
motivates you.
That motivates. It can do both, but for me, I look at it in the positive aspect. Right? I use it as fuel to motivate me.
True, because I think just like what you mentioned, because when after the first game when Tisra was smashed for 34 runs in that last over, a lot of people were criticizing his ability and that he's off the pan and that kind of thing. He proved everyone wrong by scoring 140 of 74 yesterday. So it just shows you need to have a little bit of that as well in the system to actually get the best out of you, isn't
Absolutely, yeah. I think, I mean, the overall support should be positive. I mean, from your closest family members and friends, obviously you need that. But I mean, it's not a bad. I don't think it's a bad thing to receive a little bit of criticism here and there.
That's true. Yeah. So let's get into the last one. Let's get into the 7th marathon you did, because last time around we spoke about how difficult it's going to be to get to Antarctica, and the process itself was tenuous. So let's talk about that. Okay, so I flew to Antarctica. The race was happening on the 13th of December, and that went according to schedule as planned. But when so to get to Antarctica, I had to do like 6 flights basically. So I flew from Colombo, Male, Dubai, Sao Paulo, Santiago, Punta Arenas, and then Punta Arenas on a private jet to Antarctica with all the other competitors. So it was like 6 flights. I was and when I got to Punta Arenas, we found out on the day that we were leaving a day prior to departure. So I had to get all my things ready and stuff, and I was a bit nervous and anxious actually. But I was able to sort that out and get on the plane with everything secured. So we landed there on the 11th instead of the 12th. The marathon was on the 13th, so we had 2 days there. And the marathon, we had one day where we did like a recovery run, and one day we just rested the day before, and then the marathon happened on the 13th. It was incredible. The conditions are really tough though this time.
because the underfoot snow conditions were about 1 foot deep. So every time you stepped in the snow, your foot would actually sink in like you're running on sand.
Wow.
And then there was not that much wind, but it was a little windy. It was minus 20 degrees, as I thought it might be. It was pretty cold. And the wind, the visibility factor was also very poor because you couldn't see for at least 5 meters. You could only see 5 meters ahead of you. So I mean, you had to really concentrate on where you were going because there are crevasses around. You got to make sure you stay on the route. So it's pretty dangerous in that sense as well. But I was very happy to have been able to overcome all these obstacles and conditions and get through it.
Wow, imagine after traveling for so long, it could actually make you tired, and then after that, the weather conditions. And
absolutely.
It's a lot of work.
And talk about preparation for the whole thing, because minus 20 degrees. We just spoke of what Columbus and Nuerelia is like. It's 8 degrees in Nuerelia, and we are calling it really, really cold. Imagine 20 degrees below. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so I'll tell you two things. So they had a 10-hour time limit, which they took out. I was able to finish it in 8.5 hours, so I met the time limit regardless. But the way I trained for this, given all these conditions and the time limits as well, was that I actually put a treadmill inside an industrial freezer and ran inside it at minus 20 degrees with all my Antarctic clothes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, that was the only way to do it when you're living in Sri Lanka, right?
That's brilliant. That's
yeah.
definitely brilliant.
Yeah. So I heard like a few people had done this overseas. So I was lucky enough to get somebody who agreed to give me their freezer and
wow.
for the day, which was really nice. And it was brilliant. Like I got to try out all my clothing. I got to try out the nutrition, the hydration, the what temperature I would, how many layers I would keep on. So that really helped because mentally I was more prepared. However, you cannot completely simulate the conditions for Antarctica. So I mean, I obviously had to adapt when I went there.
But getting closer is a big step, especially from a tropical country like Sri Lanka.
Yeah. And to get there itself is probably an accomplishment. Forget doing a marathon of 42 kilometers. I'm telling you, that would have taken a lot out of it. Yeah. But how was the experience like? So.
Oh, it was amazing. So we stayed. We were supposed to stay there for like I said initially for 2 nights and 3 days. But there was a blizzard after the marathon, so we ended up getting stuck in Antarctica for an extra 4 nights.
Oh.
So I memean. I would have rather. I mean, I had a few travel plans in South America after the race prior to coming back to Sri Lanka. But I mean, obviously those are out the window. But I was really happy to be stuck in Antarctica because the people I was meeting was really, really cool people. They were from a broad range of countries and a diverse range of professions. They were actors, musicians, comedians, people from business, people who are attempting to become 7 continents members like me. So out of the 50 that ran, 4 or 5 were also trying to become the 7 continents, trying to complete the 7 continents. And they all had incredible stories. So I mean, being stuck in that environment definitely inspired me to actually push further in the future for my other goals as well. And I made a great network of friends and contacts as well. So
basically, it's beyond the sport. It's
absolutely
definitely more to life there.
Absolutely, and I think it was an adventure. I mean, it is an adventure marathon where it's a small group of people. You travel to an exotic place. Like you do something, you achieve something, and then you have the camaraderie around it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
We do have some visuals.
Yeah, we do.
Would love to check up on it.
Have a look at this one.
I'm in Antarctica. Man, I love it. Loving Antarctica.
Yeah.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah. You enjoying the bike?
Loving it.
Yeah.
Feels like my Ironman days.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how was that? What did we just do? A couple of K?
We did 2Ks. 32. Yeah, it's two that felt like 50, and it was
Exactly. 2 that felt like 50.
I feel like my throat is burning. I'm.
Yeah, Hassan! Yeah!
Hassan, can I get
Oh, wow. What was the feeling like, Hassan? Because we spoke of this many times.
Oh man, when I see those clips again, it brings back so many good memories. I mean, I remember what was going through my mind at the time. I was thinking, when I was a 4-lap course, so that was obviously on the last lap, and I was thinking, I'm so close. I just don't want to. I just don't want any like bad thing. Like I don't want to get injured or like not finish. But I remember the reasons why I started. Like the number one reason was to bring glory to my country and to do something for my country. Number two was to inspire other people to get into a health and fitness lifestyle, and something I want to do for my career as well. And number three was that I want to raise money for the victims of the Boston Marathon. And number four is I just think it's an interesting way to travel and see the world. So
to discover yourself.
Yeah,
and your
exactly, and to
full-blown
discover my
potential.
challenge, discover my limits, and push them, and etc. So I remember those, and I kept those in mind rather than thinking, I'm like there's like pressure. And when I crossed the finish line, I was like, wow, I pinched myself. I was like, this is amazing. This is for real. Like I have it didn't sink in yet because I was still in that Antarctic bubble, I suppose. But after I came back to Sri Lanka, the reception that I received from the media and then my community and the government as well has been really, really good. I'm very happy. I'm very have a lot of gratitude.
We are actually really, really proud
Yeah.
to have you. And as I mentioned, because even at the last time when you did the race and all that you experienced and all of that, but looking at the 7 races that you have covered, which one was the toughest?
So it's not the Antarctic, it's the Inca Trail, the one I told you about last time. So that is officially the hardest marathon in the world. And now after having done the 7, I can definitely confirm that was definitely the hardest. The Antarctic would be the second hardest, a very close second. And the Antarctic Marathon is anyway supposed to be the 3rd hardest marathon in the world, behind Pikes Peak and the Inca Trail. So the Inca Trail was the one I did for South America. So that was I would say a little harder than the Antarctic.
But the Pikes Peak was compared to the Antarctic.
I never did the Pikes Peak. I did.
Oh,
I
okay.
did the Inca Trail for South America. But I'm just saying
Perfect.
that Antarctica was 3rd, compared to Pikes Peak.
So there is so much that goes on.
Yeah.
It's not just the 42 kilometers you get
It's
to
not.
run. There is so much more that goes with it when it comes to the temperatures, the climates, and all of that change. Your system needs to adapt to all of that.
Yeah.
And being a tropical country here in Sri Lanka, running in Europe or running in Australia, to that of Boston, that's in North America, and then you're doing a South America, and then you're doing an Antarctic. It's totally different. The 7 continents, unbelievably different from one to the other.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. Accomplishing that is quite remarkable, isn't it?
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, when you've summarized my journey, so when I look back on it, I have something to talk about for life. I have memories for life and friends that I've made potentially for life, and the people, the adventures, the memories, and then of course finally the achievement is something that I'll treasure with me forever.
Yeah, and also we already spoke about the hardest one
Yeah.
you've done. So far, what gave you the best experience overall?
Okay, definitely the South African one.
Wow.
Because that one was there was not as much pressure, I would say, and I just went in with the mindset of just enjoying myself. I typically anyway go into that mindset, but for the Inca Trail, I knew it was the hardest marathon in the world, and then Antarctic, I knew it was the last one. Whereas the South African one was kind of in the middle, and also it was just a beautiful race. Like you could see, from when you were running, you could see zebras, giraffes, antelopes, and they keep the lions away, 5 kilometers away, like I said last time. But you can see them on safari, and you can see all the other animals while you're in the jeep. But when you're on the marathon, you see the other animals and rhinos and elephants and etc. And that was really inspiring. And then the course and the people, they had African drummers and dancers on like the aid stations as well, and like the drinks served were very South African. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Wow.
And Hassan mentioned last time around when in one of these stops he actually ended up dancing with the tribal dancers, and that's the beauty of all of this, isn't it?
They loved me, yeah.
Like I said, it's beyond the sport.
Part of the community.
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
Wow.
But that's the experience you take, and that's something that you'll probably treasure all your life.
Absolutely,
and
yeah,
to
absolutely.
talk to people and tell the experience. But from now of covering the 7 continents, Hassan, looking at what you have achieved over the last 3 years or 4 years for that matter, what's in store for the future?
So there's a couple of things I'm thinking about. I haven't decided. Just running through my mind, like there's a couple of things, but I haven't committed to anything yet. So I don't want to, be too presumptuous and say something that I'm not going to do. However, it'll be something that's difficult, that scares me, and that's audacious. So
Oh wow!
yeah.
But Okay, let's get to the actual story of the Seven Continents race and who helped you out. Because even last time you spoke about the whole routine as to the commitment you need to put in and going to sleep early, waking up early, the time spent
100%.
on the tracks, time spent on the bicycle and all of that, exercising and all of that you go through. And even the diet makes a huge difference. So how was that like?
Yeah, so I'll tell the viewers exactly what I did and how I ate and etc. So I don't have a diet per se. What I do is I eat I have 5 rules, and those rules are basically I eat 5 small meals a day. Each meal is an equal portion of protein and complex carbohydrates. So those are things like chicken breast, fish, lean beef, and then complex carbohydrates, things like bread, rice, oatmeal, brown bread, etc. Then I also eat every 2 to 3 hours, those 5 meals. I eat, so that's the third rule. Then I season with only low salt, sugar, and fat. So I don't cut them out, but I use them in small quantities. And then the fifth rule, which is probably the most important one and makes this whole thing sustainable, is that I use an 80-20 rule. So out of the 35 meals that I'm having a week, 28 will be in that structure and that format, and 7 I can eat whatever I like. So when I'm out with friends or family, I'm okay.
So you will be sane.
Exactly. That's it. Exactly. I think you need that balance, and that I've done this for years now. And with regard to the training, I have like a week. I exercise every single day. I try to wake up in the morning and do it. So I do a 5-kilometer run on Monday. I did a 5-kilometer run on Monday for the training program. I did a strength and conditioning session on Tuesday and Thursday, high intensity interval run on Wednesday and Friday, cross training on Saturday, which is something completely different from running. And then I did a half marathon plus on Sunday, which is like 25 kilometers plus.
Now you know why.
Now I'm motivated to I think I'm motivated to run in the morning now. I need oatmeal.
Yeah. But I actually went to the gym since I've come back, and I feel actually pretty good to just do a normal workout. And I've been thinking, thank God I don't have my coach's workout today. I don't have to beat myself up too much.
Well, that's something. Yeah, alternating with the gym is definitely something.
Yeah,
you might
exactly.
Be liking.
Yeah.
All right, so we've come to the last couple of minutes on the show, Hassan. So it's unbelievably fascinating to have achieved something of this nature and being the first Sri Lankan to do so. We are so proud. Anyone that you'd really like to specifically thank? We know, because last time also we spoke of how much your wife
absolutely
does when it comes to even things like taking pictures wherever you go.
Yeah, she's been the number one supporter. She's believed in this from the very beginning, and I definitely would like to thank her first. And then my family, who's also been really amazing and supportive. My sponsors, who have given me the support to be able to do this. The Sri Lankan media and the media around the world who have covered this. My coach, who has been absolutely instrumental in getting me ready and fit, and who's also believed in me in doing this. And then just the people and all the people who have supported me and wished me. I really appreciate it, and I don't take it for granted. So thank you.
And also, there are so many prospective marathon runners out there, and so many people out there who might have the hidden spirit to do something as amazing as what you did. So, if you can give out an advice to all those who are out there.
Absolutely, I think the number one thing is to go after your dreams and go after what you want in life, and really have a vision in your mind. If you have a vision in your mind, in your heart, and your head for what you want to achieve, and you're willing to put the work in, I think you can achieve anything you want to.
Any ideas about Ironman this time around, in fact?
No, actually, this time I would love to do it, but this time I'm going to be in India, so unfortunately I will not be able to. But I will be sending my support and all that.
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. There's so much to look forward to as well. So whilst thanking Hassan for being with us and sharing his experiences of covering the 7 continents, which is unbelievably remarkable, got to be really, really proud of what you have achieved, and hoping that he'll, as he said, something a lot more outrageous that he'll probably come out with in the near future. We'll get to know. We'll get to the bottom of that as well. All right, whilst thanking you for being with us, Hassan, it's an absolute privilege having you. It's time for Hiro and I to say our goodbyes for the first Sunday of 2019. See you same place, same time tomorrow as well. It's bye-bye from us.
See you.